Like a fine wine aged to perfection until the bottle shatters against the rocks of history. Two ancient warriors of radio broadcasting take to the airwaves of Madison for anyone brave enough to listen to the unvarnished truth, or something like that. It's John and Gordy in the morning on 92.7 WMDX.
WMDX 92.7. John and Gordy in the morning again.
Good morning.
Hey.
Yeah. Bright, beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, it's really nice sunshine.
Yeah.
Nothing else is nice about it.
Looking good for a Tuesday morning.
Nah.
It's not Monday anymore.
Weather sucks.
What are you talking about? It's just because the dew point. You're all hung up on this dew point
I
thing
am
lately.
hung up on the dew point because it means a lot to me.
Does it really?
Yes.
It does feel muggy out there.
And I had to go through this yesterday with my wife.
Really?
Yeah. She says, come on, it's not that bad. I said, no, the dew points, they're really bad. Well, what is it? And, I said, I bought this outside thermometer in order to for us to know exactly what it is. It's one of those indoor-outdoor things. You can tell what's going on out there.
Sure.
And it's very accurate, but I bought it because it had dew point on it. And, dew point is in degrees.
Yes, it is.
And I had 71 degrees out at my place yesterday.
Okay.
And I said, it's not so much the degrees, it's the amount of pain and stress that you have to go through under the dew points. Look. Okay, so, I said, it's not so much the degrees, but it's the comfort level. And I said, it's really uncomfortable. And then if you get into the 70s, it's unbearably uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. That's all true. Yeah,
so
and today is going to be one of those kind of days.
It's going to be like that. Yeah.
Muggy all day long. And we could be in for some showers and thunderstorms later on today. But this morning's looking nice. Nice, beautiful sunshine. What are you doing? What are you looking
just
up?
Collapsed here in a pool of sweat. This is. It's just really uncomfortable.
The air conditioning is not working the way it should. Is that what you're saying?
No, but here it is, 67 degrees dew point.
Yeah, anytime it's above 60, it starts.
There you go. It's uncomfortable.
Crazy.
I'm feeling a little sticky myself.
Well, you have a sweatshirt.
Yeah, I never wear correct stuff.
No, I guess.
I wear beanies when it's 90. So.
Well,
and today is Dom's birthday.
It is.
Happy birthday,
yes,
Dom.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Turning the ripe age of 22, guys. 22. So everyone,
wow.
Yep. What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means that
We're really, really old. It just makes us feel
we're extremely
even
old
older
at this
than
point.
we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding us. Yikes.
Yeah. Okay. What should we get to here? Should we get right to the history book? What do you got? You want to do the history there, Dom, on your
we
birthday?
could, but I thought there was something.
Well, the calendar is always the thing that we want to get through really quickly because no one likes it.
Just get it out of the way.
Nobody cares about it anymore.
Yeah, no
'cause
one
we've been through.
cares. No one cares.
It's all about food today on the calendar, except for one thing.
Yeah.
It's National Mascot Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you see a mascot walking around, give them a high five, I guess. I don't know. What are you supposed to do on National Mascot Day?
Well, if you still have your mascot outfit, you could always bring it into work.
I have actually a Bucky
What?
Badger outfit. I have a Bucky Badger mascot. Maybe I should bring it to work one
What do you
day.
mean you?
What?
Yeah, I have a full outfit. I actually wore it to sleep one time.
Okay, wait.
Wait a minute. You probably
Just
fell
stop.
asleep in it, but
And then
yeah.
maybe and then I fell off the bed. And then
Well,
that's-
why do you have a Bucky Badger?
It was for Halloween one year. It was for
Oh,
Halloween.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the thing is, Sam wore mascot costumes.
He had a mattress mascot
Yes,
costume.
yes.
He was dressed up as a mattress.
Didn't
Yeah.
he wear a Scooby-Doo outfit too at one point?
He did.
I think
he
so.
did. Yeah, it's a night market.
Okay, so all you people wearing mascot outfits, good luck to you today.
Yeah.
It's National Cherry Tart Day. Okay.
All right.
National Apple Strudel Day.
Yeah.
Seems like that would be a conflict, but I don't know.
Could
National Eat Your Vegetables Day.
Forget that day.
I've got a picture of vegetables and fruits together.
Yeah, it's weird.
And National Root Beer Day.
Yeah.
Oh, root beer.
I loved root beer.
Yeah,
at
every
A&W.
once in a while. Yeah.
It was so good.
Good fresh
really
root
was.
beer. Yeah.
It was the closest thing as a child you can get to drinking beer. So
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Okay. Well,
okay, I emailed you a couple of musical tunes for us. For our guest later on, we'll be talking about cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be getting that in there.
We're going to talk to Jesse Christianson about cannabinoid therapeutics. I guess there's some new things on the market.
But they really have gone into a lot of research.
Yeah.
Putting this together.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's with the organization Cannabis DNP. Is that
yes,
the
DNP.
Do we know what DNP stands for? It's a secret organization of some kind?
It's a secret, yeah. It's for the, the FBI.
Okay. All right. Good enough. All right. Now should we get to the history?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Please
Let's do it.
Tom,
All
it's
right.
all over to you.
All right, all up to me. All right,
Take
1885. The Statue of Liberty arrives in the New York Harbor. So that's the beginning of the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 1950, the first kidney transplant is actually conducted at a Chicago hospital. Do I know what Chicago hospital? No, I do not.
No.
But
Okay.
I know it was conducted in Chicago.
When was that? 1950.
1950.
Okay. Wow.
1950.
I
So.
didn't realize they'd been doing that long.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a long time.
All right.
And then in 2021, President Joe Biden signs Juneteenth National. I didn't write the end part of this. I don't.
Juneteenth National Day. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's just a national day.
So that's actually on it's on June 19th, Thursday.
It's a Tuesday. 2 days. Yeah.
Yep. All right. And that's it for the history book.
Isn't it strange that they? I think it's so bizarre
What?
that this thing where they're banning DEI. So because of the ban on DEI nationwide, it's not something illegal, but they're banning it. How do they do that? Anyway,
What made you
my
think of
my
that?
head just because the day we were just talking about, what was it?
Juneteenth?
Juneteenth Day. Juneteenth has a hard time celebrating now because of DEI, because of the funding that they used to get. Corporations used to fund things like that, but now they can't do it anymore because of the ban. So they're having a hard time celebrating this particular day now.
I don't get why it was banned. I don't get it.
Well, it's a racist thing. It's a way of sealing in systemic racism for decades to come. I mean, we're trying to get rid of it. We're trying to wipe it out. We were really getting close, and then Trump came in and banned DEI, and they blamed DEI for everything, even though diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't seem like it's anything bad, or even in combination anything bad, but they banned it and made it illegal for a lot of these places to have these policies. So now we're kind of stuck in all these groups that depended on that funding for parades and big get-togethers. Now they can't do it anymore because the funding has dried up.
Yeah. Well, Juneteenth, that's in a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
It's on the
Yeah.
19th, so
Yeah.
we'll have to do a little
We'll see what happens on that.
research on that and see where it goes from here. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's get to birthdays though, shall we?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
In 1903, we have Ruth Graves Wakefield, and she was actually the inventor of chocolate chip cookies. So the opposite of what you said, National Vegetable Day or something today.
Really?
The opposite of
Chocolate
that.
chip cookies. Huh?
Well,
She invented them.
There's an invention.
There we go. That's
Putting something in cookie batter. Wow. I'm an inventor. What about the person who invented raisin cookies? How about that, huh? I invented raisin cookies.
We don't talk about them.
Jeez.
All right, and then we also have another birthday today. It's Greg Rowley, 1947. He was the lead singer of the band Santana and Journey.
And keyboard player extraordinaire. Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have one more birthday, and it's Dominic, 2003. I don't know who he is,
That's
but
you.
oh, that's me. Yes. There we go. But yes, that is another very historical birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
2003.
What are you going to do to celebrate your birthday today?
I think I'm going to go to a nice restaurant, and I'm going to eat as much as I possibly can, and then sleep it off until I come here this time tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that sounds like a plan.
Nice to have that kind of a digestive system. Wish I had that yet.
You have a restaurant in mind? You're going to go with your girlfriend, Isabel?
Yeah,
Where are you
going
thinking
with
of
Isabel.
going?
I'm thinking we're going to Cento, which is a block down in State Street. It's an Italian restaurant, very nice. We were like the last person that they booked for 6 o'clock today.
Lucky you.
I know.
You got right in there.
I'm happy. I'm excited. Good. That's why I can't wait to go.
All right. Well.
Okay. Got anything? I don't know.
Well, no, that's
one of
that's
those.
fine. Yeah. Yeah. You could always go to the Nitty Gritty. They
yeah.
they have free beer. Is that
I think they get
a free burger?
Free burger on
And
your
a beer.
birthday.
On your birthday?
Do they still do
Really?
that? I don't know.
Of course they do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't give that one up.
I got to go
They're
to
known
that
for
then.
that.
I got to
Nitty
look
Gritty.
that up.
Yeah, well, they've got a few locations. One of them's right down.
I think it's on
the street.
Francis Street.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Francis
get up.
and University Avenue?
Or whatever it is there.
No,
I don't know. It's right on the corner. It's right on the corner.
Everything
around the
changes. I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, it's 223 North Francis.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're right. They still do the free. Yeah,
they do.
all that free stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So try that. Eat and then go over there and tank up.
Of course, the original owner or one of the owners was Marsh
Shapiro. Yes.
Great guy.
Yep.
He was a sportscaster.
TV legend.
He had a TV kids show
Yes,
in the
he
early
did.
days. Marshall the Marshall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He knew what it was like talking to puppets. That inspired you, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, I had the kid show over at Channel 47 for a couple of years,
No.
few years.
I couldn't wait to be
on TV.
I couldn't wait to be on your show. I've been dying to have my own puppet shows. It never happened. But you got the puppet show.
I got the puppet show, and I invited you on as a guest. You talked to Francois the Fox and Betsy Bear and Dimples the Dinosaur.
I know. Francois was a real head case.
Still is. Scotty Yarborough won't let Francis out of the box in his basement. He's got some curse or something.
Well,
I pleaded with him, bring
Francois in so we could talk to him on the
into
air.
the studio and we could talk to him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it.
Oh,
He just
man.
won't do it. I don't know what.
Is he thinking maybe he'll be taken over by Francois Fox's personality and not return as Scott?
I don't know, but he won't give it up.
Oh, man.
All right, it's 19 minutes past the hour. We're just getting going on a Tuesday morning, and we'll be back with much more of John and Gordy in
Yes,
the morning
we will.
in just a moment.
La, 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 pot, pot, give us some pot. Forget what you are, you can be what you're not. High, high, I wanna get high. Never give it up if you give it a try.
You're gonna give it a try, yeah. Try those things out. Neil Diamond, anti-pot song, basically.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then they have interviews with people who experienced having pot and had those horrible experiences devastating to their lives. But
What on a Neil Diamond?
Yeah, Neil Diamond.
In the song?
Yeah,
Or on the
yeah,
album?
no, in the song. Yeah, it's a long song with actualities. It was on his album way back in the mid-'60s. Yeah.
Check that out. Well, we're playing that because we're going to talk to Jesse Christianson, and he's from Cannabis DNP, talking about cannabinoid therapeutics.
Yes.
There's some new inventions or new products.
Well, we're going to try to, fill everybody in on the language of pot. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, the terminology being used today.
It's changed over the years.
It's kind of confusing at this point.
Yeah.
There are different levels of it and different kinds. And I just want to get kind of a definition of it, and then we'll get into the discussion. Because I believe you asked the question about, what does the DNP stand for, right?
Yeah.
It's actually Doctor of Nursing Practice.
Oh, okay.
So he's well-trained,
Yeah.
scientifically trained. He knows his stuff. And he'll be in here to fill us in. And that's why we want him in here. We want to find out a little bit more because, we also know that there's recent research saying that, if you smoke pot, there's a possibility of having a heart attack. It increases the possibility of having a heart attack. We don't know how true that is. It could be just lifestyle. People who smoke pot, sit around and eat chips all day. I know.
Is that what they do?
Sounds like it's from experience, John.
Yeah.
Well, I sit around all day and eat chips, but I don't smoke pot. I gave up the pot part, and I'm just
good.
eating snacks constantly. But it has to do with that lifestyle, right? I mean, having the munchies.
Right. I guess so. Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird subject because, when we were younger,
Yeah.
I mean, it was all, it was in the 60s and 70s.
It's a rebellious thing to do.
It was a rebellious thing, yes. And it was very, people were getting busted, thrown in jail for, just having a joint or whatever. And, and
long jail sentences?
yes,
for
long
that?
jail, like in Texas, maybe 10 years.
It was so
for a
stupid
joint.
for
Yeah.
pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they had all these different versions of pot. And you knew people who had it and who dealt pot.
Right.
And, it was just a strange time.
It was, yeah.
But, a lot of people who did do that kind of dealing, and not the hard drugs, but, just pot, basically. And that was a talking point at that time, by the way. They wanted to make sure, you knew that they weren't, risking anybody's lives.
Yeah.
But at that point, we were all just like learning how to start a business.
Can we find our
How to manage
we
money.
need to find our Joe Friday Dragnet cut.
I sent it to him.
Oh, did you?
I did. I sent him the Joe Friday cut.
Okay. All right.
I think I have it.
My mind, and I liked it.
Or so I thought.
Have you been smoking marijuana?
Marijuana is illegal, I know that.
That's right.
For now. In a couple of years,
Something
things
else.
may change when all the kids grow up and start wearing ties and going to the polls. Marijuana's going to be like liquor, packaged and taxed and sold right off the shelf.
I doubt it, Mr. Shipley.
No.
Look, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it seems to me there must be better things for cops to do than chase down wild rumors about something as innocent as marijuana. Why don't you go after the big bad guys, the heroin peddlers?
Yeah.
I won't argue with you about them. They should be stopped.
That's right. We'd like to put them out of business. That's why we're here.
What do you mean?
We're trying to keep them from getting a new customer.
There's a big difference between marijuana and hard narcotics.
Yeah.
But it's only a small step.
And everybody who takes a drink is going to be an alcoholic. We know that's not true, don't we? Let's face it, we're on opposite sides of the fence and there's nothing we can do about it. For you, if there's a law against it, it's wrong, black and white. I just don't see things that way, that's all.
Well, you ought to give it a try, fella. It might keep you out of jail.
Maybe, but we'll change the law someday, even though your friend here thinks we won't. Believe me, it's a new world. Your laws are as outdated as bustles. Laws are going to have to be changed to keep pace with the new morality. They'll change or we'll have to break them.
What about your daughter? How's she gonna feel if you end up in jail?
She won't like it any more than I will, but you'll have to catch me before you can arrest me, won't you? In the meantime, it's a big game of hide and seek, and to me, it is a waste of time.
How old are you, Shipley?
23.
Isn't it about time you grew up?
Here we go, lecture number 131A.
No, I'm not going to give you a lecture. I don't have the time. I'm just going to lay it out for you straight.
Here's my
Now,
lecture.
you listen to me. You chippy around with marijuana long enough, and you're going to buy yourself a lot of grief.
Joe Friday. Oh, man.
His voice is
Great
something
stuff.
else. Isn't it great?
Great,
Isn't it great stuff?
Yeah.
Having that guy to look up to.
Joe Friday. Yeah. Those were the days. Okay.
Yeah.
This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning brought to you by Madison Hearing Aid Center. They emphasize passion over profit. They're family-owned and community-focused. They're helping people change their lives. Their number one goal isn't just selling hearing aids. It's improving the quality of life through better hearing. Check them out today, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Go to their website, get a free hearing test there to get you started, and then you can make an appointment with Jim and Sarah. They're at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com.
You know, a little pushing match, outside the detention center.
What are you talking about?
And I'm talking about LaMonica McIver, representative, a Democratic representative, and it just she has been, listen to that. I don't know what grand juries do or how they work, but this grand jury, federal grand jury, is indicted her in 3 counts. The charges include 2 felony counts of assaulting a federal officer,
Okay.
2 counts, and 1 misdemeanor. All they were doing there's just people in a large crowd pushing each other.
That's it.
That was it.
That was all.
And then this is what they're charging him with.
Man. Well, that's just a hint of things to come, I
Yeah.
guess. We've got Idiocracy right
We do.
around the corner. And coming up next, it's the Midwest Food and Farm Report. It's all straight ahead on John and Gordy. in
Cannot
the
wait.
morning.
Can't wait.
Okay. Stay right here.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this.
We can duck and cover. There's a fallout shelter right there.
There's no way to survive this, you idiot!
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Well, you know, it in some or many ways, it may be very difficult to survive this for some people anyway. And my first story is not a pleasant one. It's devastating, really. You know, the cuts that have been made by Elon and the legacy that he's leaving. This is a cut from a little while ago, and you want to mention something first, but I just want to mention too that this is the Lawrence O'Donnell editorial, and he did it. But I ran across this and I thought we should hear it again because this is really, I mean, this is the legacy he has left for all of us.
For Elon,
from Elon.
Yeah. Yes. All right, we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now it's 6:36. We've got sunshine this morning. We'll see clouds later, maybe a shower or thunderstorm late this afternoon, and highs in the low to mid 80s. Right now 69 degrees. This portion of the show brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Wake up and sleep better on a Verlo mattress. Plenty has changed since 1958, but some things have remained constant throughout Verlo's history. They're still direct to consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. Verlo Mattress, 2 Madison locations, east and west. Just go to Verlo.com. Okay.
Oh, man.
Where do we get started with Idiocracy today?
We're going to start off with really kind of a devastating story. Yeah. We know that USAID was a devastation for the entire world, global economy, because, you know, it helped so many people, so many economies out there.
Yeah.
We tried to help, and that's why we were this beacon of freedom in the world, because we were out there behind everyone. We were helping people out. And apparently, you know, somebody didn't get that message. Some foreigner from Canada and South Africa who just became a citizen thinking that he was a real American for some reason.
But seemed like USAID was the first thing they went after.
They went after that, yes.
He went after it.
Well, some of the reasons why, at least some have speculated, that it's because they were one of the leaders in doing away with apartheid.
Okay.
And, well, you know, Elon from South Africa, part of that whole history, that whole scene, so maybe it was a way to get back or even. We don't know. It's just speculation. But here is Lawrence O'Donnell. He's a little choked up on this story, but doing away with all of these funds that help the rest of the world out, and the legacy is not a good one for the U.S. So let's listen to Cut 72.
This was a child as precious as yours or mine. Evan's life was in our hands, and for 5 years, America kept him alive with antiretroviral medicines costing less than 12 cents a day through the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, or PEPFAR. This was a program started by President George W. Bush and has saved more than 26 million lives so far, and it turned the tide of AIDS around the world and built enormous goodwill toward the United States. Then along came President Trump and his freeze on most humanitarian aid in January. How could a 5-year-old orphan possibly obtain medicine on his own? Evan weakened and soon died of an opportunistic infection. Marco Rubio told the House committee, no children are dying on my watch. Evan died on his watch. Evans of all ages are dying on Marco Rubio's watch, and no one is counting. And so we don't know as of tonight whether it's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of Evans, but we know it will be. In a New York Times column titled, quote, Elon Musk's legacy is disease, starvation, and death, Michelle Goldberg reports, Brooke Nichols, an associate professor of global health at Boston University, has estimated that these cuts have already resulted in about 300,000 deaths, most of them of children, and will most likely lead to significantly more by the end of the year. This is what Musk's foray into politics accomplished. If there were justice in the world, Musk would never be able to repair his reputation, at least not without devoting the bulk of his fortune to easing the misery he's engendered. Musk's sojourn in government has revealed severe flaws in his character, a blithe, dehumanizing cruelty, and a deadly incuriosity. Bill Gates has seen starving children in Africa many, many times and has devoted his life and his billions to trying to save them, which makes Bill Gates' verdict on the current richest person in the world so important and powerful. Bill Gates, the former richest person in the world, said, "The picture of the world's richest man killing the world's poorest children is not a pretty one. And the picture of the richest person in the world carrying around his drug box of ecstasy, Adderall, psychedelic mushrooms, and then taking life-saving drugs away from the poorest people in the world is a picture only Donald Trump could have created." And with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, soulless, mindless entities are what you see. We'll be right back.
All right.
That's
pretty powerful.
It sure is. Yeah.
And, you know, it's good to know exactly what kind of impact these cuts produced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the impact
wow,
it's going to be with us for
a
long time.
Quite a while.
We've got Matt on the phone this morning.
Yeah, trying to follow that up, man.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Matt,
good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I love that you do this idiocracy stuff because it so embodies America's biggest problem. We obviously have an imagination problem, and we're fairly stupid. It seems, especially at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have China that's number one now by a large measure, and we can see what they're doing that works. They are run by engineers and scientists. They are highly revered there, and we are now run by crony capitalism and religion. Religion doesn't produce products or wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have a 50-year plan that they're acting on and are being successful in. We have like a day-to-day plan, if there even is a plan.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where is the imagination? Like, I like that some people like Buttigieg and Pritzker and others, I think, are maybe trying to form a new American moral kind of framework or a plan as to what America can be now that we've fallen so far.
Yeah. Well, you know that
we need that desperately.
You know that China's filling in the blanks now. You know, they're going out there trying to help all these societies, all the ones we abandoned. So they're trying to move in at this point. Yeah. So, I know there's a way that I think Buttigieg and all the others are trying to at least explain what we need to do next and how we should approach it and at least reframe it just a little bit. You know, my sons are both Gen Zers are very fed up with the system the way it is. They hate Hillary, they hate Kamala, they hate everybody, they hate Biden. They're not happy campers at all. And we have debates around the house all the time. But I think you're right. You know, there is a different way to go. There's a different way of framing it. We're kind of we're working on it. You know, but the way we describe it here, we're pro-democracy. Mm-hmm. We're in between. We're not really we're really not political in the way that we're looking at things. We're looking at things in a practical way, in a way to save money, in a way that makes sense, that helps people, makes their lives easier. Life is tough, very difficult. A lot of people have very difficult lives, family lives. And if we can make it just a little bit easier, everything can be better, you know? So,
yeah. And we're still in the early stages of trying to form what's next.
Yeah, I know.
No doubt about it.
All right. Well, Matt, thanks a lot for opening that can of worms.
Matt?
It's a big one.
Yes, I
What
know.
are you? By the way, what are you doing, Matt?
Yeah, it's getting his mail ready today.
Oh, is that it? You're at work,
I'm
probably.
making my eggs and fretting about the collapse of my country that I love.
Okay. Well put. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what we go through every morning.
Right.
Thanks a lot, Matt. I appreciate the call.
If you'd like to chime in, 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK. You can also call us or text us from the Civic Media app. It's free to download always and free to use.
Send us
always.
a voice note, right?
Yes, the voice note. That's the
we only have one
new button.
We only have one, but we really need a couple.
Well, people should try it out.
I'm not a very big fan
Troy
of the
from
one.
Mount Horeb. Tell that Peterson guy to shut his yap.
Okay.
Again, I'm not a big fan of the one
Well, it's
we
just
have.
an example. We just wanted to have somebody.
Yes. Well, I'm glad
try
we
it out.
Continue to play that one example
over and over again.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You like it, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
What?
Because this was a little debate. I don't know how old the debate is, but it's on the site Jubilee, which I like to watch, but my kids make fun of me for watching it. Anyway, it was a group of megas surrounding this other group who are trying to say we need the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It will save you money. They'll be in your corner in case you get ripped off. And they're like shaking their heads. No. They're too smart financially.
Was this the group that Senator Elizabeth Warren got behind?
Yes. She started Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, but she's not part of it. You know, she just started it. Okay. So anyway, well, let's listen to this debate. This is Cut 73. Let's hear it.
I applaud Elon Musk. He has found an enormous amount of waste, specifically fraud and abuse. And he did that by getting into the government and showing us how fraudulent he is. For example, if you have heard of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and you listen to a single Republican tell you what it is, from Congress to Mark Andreessen on Joe Rogan, to Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan, to Elon Musk, they will all say verbatim the same thing. It is an agency that was created by Elizabeth Warren to debank people. That's a lie. She doesn't run it. It doesn't debank people. In fact, it keeps people from being debanked. And one of the big things the CFPB did and does is they try and keep X, Facebook, and all of these social media companies from becoming payment processors that don't have to follow the same laws as banks. And there were 280 complaints against Elon Musk's companies alone. And he walked in and he fired the inspector generals, and then he gutted it. And he did this at the CFPB. He did it at the National Labor Relations Board, where we also now know that there was a sudden spike of information going out, and Russians were using the created usernames and passwords that had been created 15 minutes earlier to try and log in. He went to the FAA. He was able to go and look at every contract that he was negotiating against. He went to NASA. He went into every one of these programs, and he gutted them. And he made it so that he and his billionaire friends didn't have to keep the rules anymore. And all he had to do is hold this shiny object in front of everybody's face. Look, we're going to cut $2 trillion. Never mind, it's $1 trillion. Never mind, I only cut 150 billion. And
okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we missed the end of that, but
we'll come back to it.
All right.
Very good. It is 6:48. We'll continue with
It's a good
much
argument,
more.
though.
It sure is, yes. Yeah. And we'll have more of Idiocracy after this on John and Gordy in the Morning.
All right.
Panama Red. Panama Red. Panama Red. Mad City. I can't wait to feel my wheels rolling and I'm on my way. I've been gone so long now, I think it's a pity. Going back, going back, going back to Mad City today. You can bet I'm gonna do some fishing on the Lona or in State Street for a couple of beers.
Mad City.
Know some buddies as they're walking, cut some friends and do some talking. Oh, it's been too many years. Going back,
Going back,
Going back, going back.
Mad City.
All right.
Yeah.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning with a kind of a cool tune, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mad City.
This is our winner at a previous station. We had a contest of who could write the best song about Madison.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked that one, and the station was taken off the air, and we were never able to award it to the individual who wrote that song.
Yeah.
We don't know who wrote the song, so
Right.
it's driving us crazy.
Whoever did, congrats to you. Congrats to you.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It was like 30 years ago. Still haven't found the winner. Hey, you can get the WMDX newsletter right to your email. Just go to WMDXradio.com. Check it out there. If you go to that site, WMDXradio.com, there's also a poll. You can check out our poll. Let's see. What is the question here? I've got it right here. Will you vote John and Gordy Best Radio Team in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison poll? That's the poll.
Yeah,
hey,
what a great question.
Well, the answers say, you bet, love those guys. That gets 77%. Yeah. And then the next possibilities, maybe, they're okay, I guess. That got 11%. And then the next possibility is probably, but I really don't like John Peterson. That's also at 11%. And the last one is, who is this Gordy person you speak
thanks
of?
a lot.
That gets 0%. So I got, anyway. That's it. You can check it out at WMDXradio.com.
Gordy, they love you way more than John. I'm letting
really?
you know
You know,
that.
I don't understand these shots that I'm taking around here. Well, maybe I do, and I'm just, trying to work through that.
Yeah.
All right, now why don't we continue what we were listening to about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau?
Right.
And the guy was making a really great argument of why it is good to have that bureau around in order to protect us as consumers. And I think he wraps it up here. And as he's wrapping it up, I just want the visual of these megas shaking their head, no, this would never happen, is just amazing. But let's finish this off here.
Okay.
Look, we're going to cut $2 trillion. Never mind, it's $1 trillion. Never mind, I only cut 150 billion. And you mentioned before, it's closer to 60, but if you want to take what has receipts, it's $32 billion. And we increased the budget by $200 billion. We're increasing the budget. He has saved us nothing. And he's hurt every one of you. By gutting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, every one of you lost the ability to go when your bank screws you, when Chase comes in and they start charging exorbitant fees and they cheat behind closed doors, you all lost your protection.
Then they were shaking their heads. No, that's not going to happen.
No, that would never happen.
What's wrong with these people?
I don't know.
Do they not know?
They know.
High bank fees, everybody's paid those in the past, and those came down dramatically when they put the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau in place, limiting how much they can penalize you for just banking with them.
Right.
What a weird concept. Let's go to the phone. We've got Joe on the line. Joe, welcome.
Good morning.
Oh, well, let me add another layer to the cake of Mr. Trump's lack of compassion, Rubio's lack of compassion.
Yeah.
There's a great article in Huffington Post, if people want to check it out. It says, Trump hasn't visited a single natural disaster on his watch as president.
Wow.
It's one of the classics. You go to the site and you're there. You're just showing up matters. It says the federal government, our whole country is aware of what you're going through, and we're all going to pull together to help you get through whatever tornado, forest fire, flooding, whatever it might be that has devastated your community. He has, however, participated well in golf, and at a cost of about $38 million for the American consumer. So he's, missing in action there. And of course, at the same time, he's got this deal of trying to lessen everybody's relying on FEMA in any way. He really wants to get that out of the way to such a degree. I don't know if you remember, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was trying to get aid for her state, and I never forget the line he said to her in the first pass, where she was desperate to get aid to her state, which had been ravaged by tornadoes. He said, "You'll figure it out."
You'll figure it out. Figure it out.
I do love it. Yeah, yeah.
So, the from the heart of darkness, there we have. He essentially ended up okaying aid to that particular state because it's a Republican governor that had been his press secretary. But it took 6 weeks of her calling with all of the cachet that she had to get any kind of assistance. So here's the future, folks. Good luck to us all.
Yeah, that's
for someone who actually worked with him at one time. Yeah. Yep. Thanks for that reminder. That is, and he wants to get rid of FEMA completely.
Of course.
He doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Let the states figure out how to fund things.
And it's so apparent that he doesn't know what the states are going through.
Right.
How tight the budgets are at those states.
No
and
idea.
The states have to balance their budgets.
Well, he doesn't care.
He doesn't know the process. He doesn't know what states have to do. No. So he's just putting the cost onto them, and they can't afford to do anything.
Yeah,
they've got their own tax cuts to pass.
He doesn't care. He's setting up new businesses. The latest one.
I know.
One of his sons.
We're getting to that. We're
the new phone service, the Trump Mobile.
Trump Mobile.
Oh boy.
I'm
sure this will go great.
I was so stunned by that, and the fact that they named it Trump Mobile. I mean, all the other products were, Trump Champagne, Trump Meats, Trump University. Not a good brand.
No.
But here they go.
Coming up in our next hour, we'll talk to Jesse Christianson from Cannabis DNP, talking about cannabinoid therapeutics. All that and more on John and Gordy in the Morning.
Yep.
In Madtown. In Madtown. In Madtown.
transmitted by wire.
Here is the latest news brought into your own living room.
You'll be hard to satisfy with anything less.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Talk is cheap. Dib. Always gossiping.
It's the John and Gordy Show.
This is High Five Plus.
And that's the way it is.
We'll do it live.
On 92.7 FM, WMDX. Take it away, boys.
All right. Big stories coming up here. Trump attacking the blue cities, and we're also going to talk about Trump Mobile and the damn troubled Trump watch.
Okay. We'll get to all that.
Wow.
6 minutes past the hour. It's a beautiful start this morning. Look at that sunshine on State Street this morning, John.
I bet it's got
just
high dew points out there, though.
High dew points today. It's feeling pretty muggy.
Yeah.
And temperatures are going to climb to the low to mid 80s later on. Right now, 69 degrees. We'll check in with Brittany Merlot in just a few minutes.
Well, let's go to the phones
latest
right away. We've got Mark on the line. Mark, what do you got for us today?
Good morning, Mark.
Yeah, they want to get rid of FDIC that insures our deposits at banks. They want to get rid of the NCUA, insures our deposits at credit unions. And for the whole thing of not taking care of one another, the whole thing of getting rid of USAID. I mean, I just can't help to think about, in our own Constitution, it says promoting the general welfare.
Right.
And turning to Dickens once again, that for all these businessmen, that what did Marley's ghost say when he came? Business, cried the ghost, wringing his hands again. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business.
Yeah.
Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. I mean, that...
Yeah.
Boy, Mark, thanks for reminding me of that line.
Yeah.
That really is it. And these billionaires are taking their tax cut. They want that tax cut so desperately, they are willing to throw the entire human race under the bus and return to another Dickensian time. Geez. Yeah, I know.
Mark, thank you for calling.
Devastating.
608-879-8255. Well, I'm going to... Okay. I know.
I'm just going to huddle in the corner over here.
It's a tough one. Have another cup of coffee. That'll perk you up. You'll be fine.
Just the images of the film. I remember, that scene, watching the people outside that window huddling around the child at the feet of the mother trying to keep the kids warm. I mean, it's just...
I know it.
Just, it's hard to even imagine that these people have a clear enough conscience to go on living, collecting their billions.
I know. And every day it just seems to... it just seems to get worse. It's awful. Okay.
All right.
But we push forward here.
Yes,
huh?
we're going to push forward.
Okay.
Did you want to get to...
let me get to this. Thank you for reminding me.
Before we move on.
You can wake up and sleep better on a Verlo mattress. Plenty has changed since 1958. Some things have remained constant throughout Verlo's history. They're still direct-to-consumer, providing superior products at unbelievable great prices. Verlo mattress, 2 Madison locations, east and west. And you can always check out the latest at Verlo.com. Find out about their adjustable mattress frames, too, right there. Verlo.com. Okay.
It almost seems unfair to ask you to get off your Verlo mattress to go to work today, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
No, that's not in the ad, but they'll probably give me a call and say, John, do not ask people to get off those mattresses. All right.
Okay.
I'm just, stepping out. That's the kind of guy I am. I mentioned Trump is coming right out now and saying that he's attacking the blue cities. He's out there. He's going to have a presence in these blue cities. I want you to listen to Trump spreading his prime directive, the stochastic terrorism, as I call it, which suggests violent acts against liberal blue cities, the mayors, the governors, and now, of course, we're seeing the politicians.
Okay.
The borders are, by the way. Tom Homan came out and said exactly the same thing. They're going to occupy those blue cities. Let's listen to this.
On immigration, why are you ordering ICE to target Democratic inner cities? What's behind that?
I don't know what you're saying.
You did a post last night where you said you want ICE to really target Democratic...
Yeah, I want them to focus on the cities, because the cities are where you really have what you call sanctuary cities, and that's where the people are. I look at New York, I look at Chicago. I mean, you got a really bad governor in Chicago and a bad mayor, but the governor's probably the worst in the country, Pritzker. But I look at how that city has been overrun by criminals, and New York and L.A. Look at L.A. L.A. Those people weren't from L.A. They weren't from California. Most of those people, many of those people.
Yes, they were.
That's the focus. Biden allowed 21 million people to come into our country.
Here we go.
Of that, vast numbers of those people were murderers, killers, people from gangs, people from jails. They emptied their jails out into the U.S. Most of those people are in the cities, all blue cities, all Democrat-run cities, and they think they're going to use them to vote. It's not going to happen.
Using them to vote. And then, that was like a punchline I didn't expect to get. I know that he's going after the blue cities because of the fear that he has of these people who are let out of prisons in other countries and brought into this country by Joe Biden. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats, the whole thing. And it's just so ridiculous and so... it just blows your mind. It's so dumb. It sounds so stupid, and yet he is doing this. He has this paranoia, and I don't know why we're not calling him out on that. It's like he's really afraid. He's looking over his shoulder all the time. There's going to be an immigrant there, someone who'll kill you. Well, anyway,
and they're not. It's that's the wrong picture of these immigrants. They're seeking asylum. Most of them want to get in and make a good life for themselves. They're not coming in to cause trouble. They're here to start their lives over and do, good things and start a business, bring their families over.
Well, I'm going to feed into that paranoia.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
really?
going to say,
okay.
I'm going to say all those people that were released from those prisons and insane asylums.
Insane asylums.
They're working. They're working in the hotel industry.
Oh,
which he just exempted.
Really?
Which he just exempted. They're smart, man.
Okay.
Those psychos.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, the Democracy Docket, you might want to visit that site, Democracy Docket.
Okay.
They wrote, President Trump's ordered ICE to target major U.S. cities, the core of the Democratic power center, they say, to punish his political opponents, citing election conspiracy theories that Democrats use undocumented immigrants to expand their voter base. It is so preposterous, so unbelievable, and no one has found these voters. They're not out there. And no matter how much they claim they found them, they're out there. We haven't seen any prosecutions any place in regards to any of this. So it's just all made up. Anyway,
it's exhausting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Now, why don't we get to something a little more entertaining, more bizarre?
Really?
It's the Trump Mobile.
Oh, yeah, this is the new phone, right?
Yes.
Is this on the market already?
Their whole company is... Yeah, well, Eric Trump is out there promoting this thing.
Eric.
It's a $500 gold-colored phone. Now, if we all remember the Trump White House tour that he was giving to some reporter.
Yeah.
And he was pointing out the gold.
Oh, all the gold they put
artifacts in the office because they're real gold. And he said, they can't be painted gold because there's not a paint that looks just like gold. So in order to replace the bad-looking gold-colored paints,
right,
they brought in real gold because most people can afford to do that.
To put it on the mantle of the Oval Office.
Oh yeah,
all that.
Yeah, all the figurines,
all the gold,
right?
Yeah, and the figurines.
So
beautiful.
So anyway, these phones are. I hope they're going to be colored a nice, realistic gold color.
The mobile phone, the Trump mobile phone company.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and my son tore into this thing. He recognizes phones and phone designs.
He's good with phones.
Yeah, so he looked this whole thing up, and he found out it's a Chinese company making these phones.
Of course.
And it's called Wing Tech. It's called Wing Tech, and they make generic phones for all these companies that want to have their own particular phone line. And he also said that the design looks like an older design, and it was. It's like last year's model.
Okay.
And so it's not a high-tech phone at all. And we're assuming at this point, now I'm assuming, that they have a warehouse full of these old phones.
Really?
And Eric Trump found them, and And he's got a base of suckers that buy any of this stuff that's got a Trump name on it. So they're going to put out these $500 gold-colored phones, dubbed the T1, Trump one. Later this year, as part of the service's launch, it's going to be like $47 a month.
Okay.
It's $47.45, playing off of the, Trump was a 45th and 47th president. So, yeah.
Okay.
God.
Wow.
It
never ends.
And the company is licensing the president's name to a wireless service that is supported by 3 major U.S. carriers. So it's just a third wrong phone company, like a lot of them are, and there's nothing wrong with them at all. But anything called Trump Mobile has got to be scary. Let's play cut 150, please.
This morning, you've got an announcement on a new phone. Tell me about that and what you're looking to, quote unquote, correct here.
Well, you know what, Maria, more and more we're using technology as a company, right, to correct the problems. Obviously, Truth Social was to correct freedom of speech, right? I mean, he lost his throughout the political process. Obviously, crypto, and we've got the biggest projects in crypto, was to correct another problem, which is the fact that they were debanking all conservatives. I was the most canceled person probably in the history of the country. And now we're doing Trump Mobile, and Trump Mobile is going to revolutionize cell phones, mobile calling. We're going to do it better. We're going to do it safer. We're going to have more functionality, more features.
Security.
And the coolest thing about all these ventures is we're doing it right here in the United States. You're not calling up call centers in Bangladesh. You're not, you're doing it right out of St. Louis, Missouri. And you're going to have phones that are made right here in the United States of America. And they're going to have, it's going to be cheaper, $47 a month. You're going to have more international dialing for free, hundreds of countries, international dialing for free. It is the biggest bang for the buck, and we're really excited to get into the space. I mean, when you take kind of technology, obviously real estate's always been our bread and butter, but when you take the technology world between the social platforms, the actual hard devices, which is really what Trump Mobile is, and then kind of the true retail banking, CeFi, DeFi, worlds of cryptocurrency, which is no question where the world is going. I really believe we're going to have one of the great kind of tech platforms as part of the Trump organization of any company in the world, and I couldn't be more proud of Trump Mobile.
I disagree. So many problems with it. First of all, I know that they love texting people in other countries.
Oh, sure.
What a great feature. I have this desire to text people in other countries. Who's doing that? Nobody's doing that.
Maybe they see that as a future for it, though.
Yes.
Nobody's doing it. Let's do it.
I know they're doing it. What a great feature, huh?
Oh boy.
Well, anyway, this is what they're selling everybody, and they think they're going to sell this stuff, and really, they're going to make the phones here, right? But they're really using these Chinese phone makers. And then another person writes, pay MAGA influencers to promote it, subscribe nitwit MAGA buyers to the phone service plan, and sell the subscribers to a larger carrier. Get rich and laugh at the gullible morons who buy into the Trump Mobile service. This is crazy stuff. But now, is it a quality product? You're going to find out that the Trump Watch wasn't a quality product. And we'll have that in just a moment.
All right, stay with us. Also, right around the corner, we'll check in with Brittany Merlot, get the latest on the weather for today, the rest of the week. It's all coming up on John and Gordy.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Hello, Brittany.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hey, Brittany.
How's it going?
Bigfoot stole my curds.
I wore this shirt for you guys. I was like, they're going to get a kick out of this.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to turn you guys off right now
I like
because
it.
we've been having some delay problems. So I'm going to turn you off.
Hey, this is Mike McCabe, author, Substack blogger, and regular guest on John and Gordy in the Morning. Just found out the boys are up for Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Award for Best Radio Team. I see why up close every Wednesday and urge you to make it official by voting John and Gordy Best Radio Team, even though they'll probably get big heads and won't want some farm boy from the middle of nowhere on their show anymore.
So did you tell him?
What?
So did you tell him?
No. Yes, if you want to vote for Best of Madison for Best Radio Team for us, just go to our website, WMDXradio.com, and click on the banner about Best of Madison from Madison Magazine. Okay. What a gorgeous start to this Tuesday.
Absolutely not.
It sure looks beautiful, but it feels kind of muggy already.
Well, yes.
Who could possibly be here to tell us more about
Just how
what our
muggy
weather
the dew points are
situation
right
is?
now.
How bad is it out there? How
It really
the
is
dew points?
quite bad.
How's the humidity? Who could
Hey,
tell us?
Brittany Merlot.
Oh, yes.
You know how bad it is outside? It's
What?
about as good outside as you guys and your show. What do you
Yeah,
say?
there you
You agree?
So you're
Yeah, I
saying it's
agree.
miserable?
Yes,
What
sir.
what are you
I'm
saying?
saying
Absolutely.
it's beautiful. It's
It is
wonderful.
beautiful.
I
yeah.
would rather be south. It looks gorgeous out there, you guys. Isn't the sun
no.
shining?
It
Yeah.
looks
Yes.
great. It looks great.
Oh,
it's
it's really
fantastic.
bright
You
and
can even
beautiful
see
here.
the brightness on us here in the studio because of the sunlight reflecting off the great, beautiful buildings that we have in front of us.
What's it like in Wausau?
We're starting
Well-
to see some sunshine, but we had a
Yeah.
little bit of crazy storms last night. We had to worry about rolling in from Minnesota. So we got a lot of rain. It's damp. It's soggy out there. So it's nice to see some sunshine starting to peek out. But you guys avoided a lot of that yesterday. So that's awesome.
Yes, we did. I don't know how that happens either. You know, I was expecting rain. We
It's a
just have
protective
all the
bubble.
mulch all over the plants and everything, and I was hoping to, soak that mulch and get those plants ready to go. But
well.
it
It's
just
gonna happen.
doesn't work out sometimes.
gonna
All right. Well, anyway, hey,
It's
you got a
coming.
really nice T-shirt on there.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's gorgeous.
It says, for those of you who are not watching on YouTube or Facebook or X or whatever, it says Bigfoot stole my curds.
Yep.
It's that wonderful silhouette of Bigfoot that you can see everywhere in a lot of people's yards.
Nice.
This
I
big,
have that.
Do
one
you
in the
have one
yard?
of those?
The
Yeah.
8-foot Bigfoot.
Yes, you
yeah.
have
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those
yes.
are really cool. I love those things.
It's fun, especially when you live up in the woods and you live off of a decent street. Enough people travel on it, and you're just like, yes, they're gonna see it.
Oh yeah. Stole your
Oh,
curds.
gosh.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So I think we made it to like 73 degrees, the dew point yesterday. It was that bad down here, and I was indoors. It did not go outside.
I don't
So
blame
another
you.
another muggy day,
Yeah.
but maybe some rain or thunderstorms late this afternoon, possibly.
Yes, indeed. So probably highs around 86 degrees. Still sticky out there. You've got a stalled front in the area, so chances for showers and storms probably start around 5 to about 7 or so. And then they kind of clearing out of here around 8. So it's not going to be an all-nighter. It's not going to be a crazy thing. In terms of severe weather, you're in a marginal risk if they turn severe, which I don't think that they are. But if they do, maybe some high winds and some smaller hail. Otherwise, tomorrow is the soaker. That's when our temperatures fall to the mid-70s. It's going to be overcast, dreary, wet, a good 1 to 2 inches of rain possible. Still some heavy storms expected in there, and it's going to be raining all day. So, John, your mulch is going to be just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Fantastic. I was worried about that. Okay. So anyway, thank you for that great weather forecast and the great T-shirt as well.
Appreciate it.
All right.
You guys have
All
a
right.
good morning.
All right.
Brittany, thank you so much. That's WMDX Chief Meteorologist Brittany Merlot. We got a text in here from Doug. You know, we were talking about the dogs and the cats. And
Eating
that
the
song.
dogs, eating the cats.
Yeah.
But Doug has a great idea, and we might just market this at the next night market down here on State Street. He suggests that, have you thought about having donuts in the shapes of dogs and cats?
And selling them at the farmer's market.
We got to do that. We got to do that.
Let's workshop that. We got to
eating the dogs,
run that around the
eating the
table.
cats.
Work on that. Yeah. It's a
Great
good idea.
slogan, yeah.
Thank you,
Let's
Doug,
work on
for
that
that.
one. Okay, let's go to the watch. And I've been trying to get to this for 3 or 4 weeks now. This is from the Daily Show.
The Trump watch.
The Trump watch.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a misspelling on the watch, and
Let's
this
get
is
to
quite of an expensive item here. Quite the deal.
Okay.
So do you have that cut ready to go?
We do.
Yeah, 49.
Right. Yes.
Yep. Let's go.
All right.
If you bought any Trump merchandise, I don't want to surprise you, but it might be a piece of junk.
Trump time. A mistake on a Donald Trump keepsake might be funny to some.
But it wasn't a laughing matter for the couple who paid more than $600 for the Trump-branded watch.
Get your Trump watch right now. Go to gettrumpwatches.com. It's Trump time.
Melanie Pettit likes the style, but it's what this watch does not have that makes it stand out.
Yes.
I noticed it right away. The T is missing. It just says RUMP.
So it should say Trump.
Should say Trump.
Instead,
it says rump.
What a shocking story. I mean, truly, I did not expect them to be able to read. And you might be thinking, what kind of respectable horological craftsman of luxury timepieces would allow this to happen? Well, it turns out watches might just be their side business.
New eye-popping details about Donald Trump's watches, and there's a link to Viagra Honey.
And this is a product that is born out of a licensing agreement with a company called the Best Watches on Earth LLC. There is another company at this business registered at the same address called the Best Honey on Earth. They sell male enhancement honey, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a product that helps men perform in the bedroom.
Wait, everyone shut up. Stop laughing. That's honey? This changes everything. I just hope that those watches have like a little warning label on them, like you do for people with nut allergies. Like, warning, this watch was manufactured in a plant that also processes honey.
There you go.
Okay. That's from the Daily Show. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So you can
Great
imagine
stuff.
what the Trump mobile is going to be like with their Trump phone. The quality.
Well, hopefully they spell it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, coming up next, Jesse Christianson from Cannabis DNP. All coming up on John and Gordy in the morning. mics for a minute. So can you hear me okay? Turn it down. All right. How's that? Is that better? Up.
There you go.
Okay. And really like get close.
I got to get right in
Yep,
there.
right on it.
Right.
Okay.
Can I turn my head and talk to you too?
Oh, yeah.
You can talk to me as well. Yeah,
That's all
absolutely.
good. All right. Now we're going to shut the mics off for a minute.
WMDX 92.7, John and Gordy in a beautiful morning.
It's gorgeous. We have sunshine, highs today getting into the low to mid 80s, and dew points are high. Humidity, it's muggy out there.
It is.
Okay?
It's awful.
Maybe some showers and storms later. Okay, welcoming into our studios here, Jesse Christianson. He is with Cannabis DNP, and they have you have a website, cannabisdnp.com. Jesse, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And the DNP stands for Doctor of Nursing.
Doctor of Nursing Practice, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
A lot goes into this, your website, and we direct people over there to cannabisdnp.com. Simple as that. And check it out. It's it does a lot to inform the individual about what you're into and how you have made this this product that you have. And that's what we want to kind of get into. There's a lot of different points of view on what is available out there now. And there are a lot of shops that are dotting the State Street and all the other avenues here in the city. So what is it that we're missing? A lot of people, have kind of been brought up, Gordy and I, of course, came from a generation of just, buds and weed, the flower, flower.
Yeah.
But things have changed so dramatically now because this is legal. Hemp. This is where a lot of this comes from, is hemp, and a lot of these stores have popped up. You got to fill us in, and what exactly, introducing people to this industry, because there's still a lot of mystery surrounding it. We're seeing the shops, but we're not real familiar with what to expect when we go into these shops.
Sure.
Or go to your website and your product.
Yeah. Sure. So there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of shops. There's a ton of products. As a matter of fact, I just got back from Chicago at the Champs Trade Show, where I got to see over like 2,000 vendors selling multiple different products. So it's an interesting industry. I like to err on the side of caution, so I stick more with the medicinal components and not so much the bright and shiny, colorful products that are out there on the market right now. So I like to stick with the low dose.
So when you say medicinal products, what kind of products are we talking about? Are we gummies and such,
so
or?
mine are taffies.
Taffy?
Yeah, not like the saltwater taffies. They're more dense. But they're also DEA registered hemp farms. That's where I get my hemp from. So I know that they're clean. They get tested for pretty much every pesticide, every metal. I have the chain of custody paperwork in case anybody wants to see it. And then I use FDA regulated CGMP compliant kitchens to make sure that there's an added layer of safety with the cleanliness of the product itself. And that kind of is what separates mine from a lot of products. Mine are very focused for a couple of different reasons. I work with sleep and pain and stress and anxiety. So I work with pretty much only 2 products as of right now. I'm formulating a few others, but I like to work more with the low dose, judicious amounts and dose products.
But now you have a doctorate in this.
I do. I got it last year, May, from UW-Madison. Never would have thought that would ever have happened to me.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there is a push to regulate the industry a little bit because there really aren't any regulations. No one saw this development happening because of the hemp product. Well, they wanted to grow hemp in the state. And then after that, everything just developed from there. And now people want some safeguards put up, some guardrails.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of basically what you're providing with your product.
So, yeah, working in the healthcare industry, I want to make sure that what I give to my clients or my customers is exactly what it is. I like to be very transparent. Again, that's part of healthcare, is being very transparent with your customers. Other people out there, they have a tendency to want to mock up their COAs, their certifications, and try to get the most dose THC out of it to make it seem very strong and very potent, because that's the tendency of what sells here in Madison, Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin in general, is people want the most potent product, the newest product. And that's one of the things that I like about Minnesota is with their rules and regulations. My products have been accepted up into the Minnesota market. That just kind of tells you what kind of product you're dealing with here in Wisconsin.
So in Wisconsin, what are the regulations?
There really are none.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
It's
really
just as
It's
long as the hemp derived, the hemp that you receive is less than 0.3% THC.
Okay.
And then you can manipulate your products however you choose.
That's right. And what is Delta 9 THC?
So here in Wisconsin, we have to kind of specify the different deltas. The different THCs are like a family, 8, 9, and 10, and others. Delta 9 basically just it tells you where the double structure is, the double bond is on the chemical structure. So let's say the Delta 8 would be over on this way, Delta 9 would be here, Delta 10 would be here. It just tells you where that double bond is on the chemical structure.
Does that determine what kind of product you make out of it, or what it treats necessarily?
Not so much what it treats, just what kind of product it is. So Delta 9, we know, is the main component, psychoactive component of the cannabis plant.
Okay.
So it's the most abundant. Delta 8 is in the cannabis plant. It's just in such a low amount that to make a product from the plant itself would be extremely expensive. So what we do is, or what companies do, is they'll isomerize Delta 9 into Delta 8 with using different chemical.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Jesse, tell us about, now your medical background tends to focus on working with people that are 40 and older?
13 and over, but yeah, my sweet spot is about 40 and above.
Yeah. Okay. So they're probably customers of yours are coming to you for the first time, and what do you tell them as far as what if they have an ailment? Let's say they have arthritis or something. I mean, maybe there's a medical reason that they've heard that your products will help them.
Sure.
How do you guide them? What do you ask them? And what do you recommend for them? If I have arthritis or I can't sleep at night, that kind of thing.
So the workup is kind of like it's personalized. Everybody is different. Everybody has their own medical background, medical history, medications that they're on, which a lot of people don't ask about. And if there's a concern for me, let's say you have a recent heart condition.
Yes.
Cannabis products may not be for you at this point in time.
Exactly.
But as soon as that becomes a more maintained, then we come back and revisit possible low dose, starting dose of like 1 milligram THC or CBD. But safety is always a concern. Transparency is always a concern. If I'm working with some patients with some mental health issues, I always ensure that they're talking with their psychiatrist or psychologist about any cannabinoid products. I give them my card. I'm very open about it. They can contact me at any time, but safety is a priority to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned a heart condition. There has been, of course, a study that's out there that said that
There's
a lot of
many.
people who smoke
There's many.
are more prone to have a heart attack. Now, what's the science on that?
So I think you're referring to the ACC paper, maybe
Yes.
the AHA paper. So the ACC paper that came out in 2025, I think in May. So there was a correlation, but they couldn't really determine a causation. And then when they were talking about their study, I believe they only used 4 keywords when they were looking up all of the medical patients' histories. So they used the words cannabis, stroke, heart failure, and something else. So it was very skewed. The information, excuse me, was very skewed. So if you're only using those keywords, your numbers are going to be very high for those reasons. Now, if they would have added in some other things like tobacco use or BMI or other things like that, you can get a more well-rounded version. But because of it's news, it's in the headlines, everybody's curious about it, and again, they're just promoting that same stigma from 1970 of be afraid of this. You don't have to be afraid of this if you're using it consciously, if you're using this for the right purpose with the right product. Now, it is shown that inhalation does increase your heart rate by about 8 beats per minute. It does increase your blood pressure a little bit, depending on your product that you're using. But over time, your body eventually becomes tolerant of that, and then it actually will drop your blood pressure depending on the product you're using.
So are you talking about inhalation of smoke, marijuana smoke, or are you talking about inhalation with vaping? Is there a difference?
There is a difference.
Okay.
So when I'm working with clients and they're not completely sure, and especially they have like an acute outburst of pain, the inhaled form is very quick. It's got a very quick onset, but it doesn't last as long as the oral or the ingestion route. So when we're talking about inhalation, what I like to choose is the vaporization method. It's the safest method. You don't combust the material, unlike smoking, let's say, a joint or a bowl of marijuana or cannabis. With that being said, the vaporization method also will increase your heart rate and your blood pressure, just because it's very acute. It's not a controlled.
Very sudden.
Yeah, it's very sudden.
Yeah.
Talking with Jesse Christianson from CannabisDNP.com. Do you have an actual retail location?
I don't, but
so it's all online.
On my site, you can find all the locations my products are available.
Okay.
Well, I think that what surprised me looking at the locations is that you can pick up your product at Piggly Wiggly. So,
wait, what? Really?
Sure.
Where's is there a Piggly Wiggly in Madison?
Out in Sauk.
Out in Sauk.
Oh, Sauk. Yeah, right on Highway 12.
Yeah,
That's okay.
out in Bellevue too, and or Belleville. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, so we talked about inhaled products. Well, okay, what about gummies versus? You're offering taffy now. I mean, is that about the safest route to go as far as any ill side effects?
So the oral route, the ingestion when you actually eat it, I like this method because it lasts longer, and you don't need as much. Okay. The inhale version works great, especially if you have acute issues and you need something right away. But when you actually eat the edible, it breaks down through the liver, similar to like a lot of oral medications, and then it gets in the bloodstream, which is about 4 times stronger than what it originally was. But it also lasts about 8 to 12 hours longer, so you get that full effect for a longer period of time.
Okay. And what are we treating sometimes when people want to take this? Is it the lack of sleep?
Sure.
The inability to sleep?
Sure.
Pain, aches and pains?
Yep. So my 2 products, the sleep and pain and the stress and anxiety, those are the major conditions that I see a lot of people for. And this happened even before I had a doctorate. This was when I was working the floor as a bedside nurse from 2016 on to 2023. A lot of people would come in for insomnia or pain. And I'm not a huge fan of opiates. Everybody knows that. But there is a place for them. It just should not be used long term. It should not be used chronically. Cannabinoids, on the other hand, can be used long term. There's no negative, horrible side effects like opioids do have. But yeah, sleep and pain and stress and anxiety are a couple of things that I treat. There's a couple of different forms of insomnia that I work with, and then we talk about dosing to help better help with that problem.
And this taffy, can you break it up? It seems like everybody is taking little chunks.
Yep.
One review said I took a quarter.
Yeah.
of it. So, is it possible to do that, or to break it up like
Absolutely. So you can either just take a little bite off of it, or you can use the scissors and cut it. But each taffy is individually packaged within the packaging to help with shelf life, to help with longevity, and also to help with safety for little fingers getting into it.
And you would probably recommend, trying a little to see
absolutely.
what your limit is, and just add on to it if you need more.
Yep, everybody has their own sensitivity.
Well, Jesse, if people want to find out more, the best place is your website, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Go to cannabisdnp.com.
Yep. And this Saturday, I'll be at Garver Sessions. I'll be there for the daytime and the PM. And then Sunday, I'll be back at the Northside Farmers Market, where I usually am every Sunday.
All right.
Very good.
Well, fantastic. This is great. Again, learning just a little bit about it really does help.
Good.
Appreciate you being with us, Jesse.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
We will be back with leftovers on John and Gordy.
Terrific if you like eating leftovers.
Leftovers?
Leftovers? I kept the leftovers. The leftovers! Just some leftovers.
Leftovers for a week and a half. He ate those leftovers!
Funeral leftovers.
Leftovers. Enjoy.
Okay.
92.7 WMDX. It's John and Gordy with a few leftovers. This portion of the show brought to you by our friends at MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. Jim and Sarah have a great deal going on there. You can check them out at 4706 Cottage Grove Road in Madison. If you have hearing issues, go to their website, MadisonHearingAidCenter.com. You can do a simple hearing test there to get you started. They offer fast and flexible appointments. They're family-owned. They help people change their lives. Their number one goal isn't just selling hearing aids. It's improving the quality of life through better hearing. And they do that each and every day. Madison Hearing Aid Center. Go to MadisonHearingAidCenter.com for more information. Okay?
Yes, bad
right.
news. We've been working with them on a Borg version of the hearing aid, and it just hasn't been working out well. So could be.
Well, it's because we were doing the technology, and just offering up these different ideas, and it didn't quite pan out the way.
That's true. That's true.
The hearing aids were.
But we appreciate all the work that.
But they have the best. They have the best stuff.
They do.
They've got it all right there. Madison Hearing Aid Center.
All
Okay.
right. I was listening to Market Watch on public radio, and it was I love that. Kai Ryssdal is one of my favorite talk show hosts. But anyway, he had this little factoid, which I thought was rather interesting, finally putting a point to all of job losses in the federal government. He said, we have lost so far 280,000 jobs in the federal government. 280,000 people lost their jobs. Who knows about their home mortgages? I mean, these are people who relied on a good, solid government
Steady,
job.
long-lasting job.
Yes, with
Been there a
benefits, the
long
whole
time.
thing.
Yeah.
And 280,000 is just mind-boggling. It's just wrong.
That's hard to wrap your mind around. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the other big story that came out was even worse. I mean, this is just like crazy. And this is something that Trump put in place. And this is a web wisdom. And we've heard Tizzy Ent before, and I thought he explained it rather well here. This is cut 149, and it is having to do with vets getting treatment. Let's listen.
Okay.
Donald Trump and Republicans love veterans, right? That's what I've always been told, that they love veterans. They seem to imply that Democrats don't, but the Republicans definitely love veterans. Unless those veterans are Democrats or unmarried. According to this new piece from The Guardian, extremely disturbing and unethical new rules allow VA doctors to refuse to treat Democrats and unmarried veterans. Doctors at VA hospitals nationwide could refuse to treat unmarried veterans and Democrats under new hospital guidelines imposed following an executive order by Donald Trump. The new rules obtained by The Guardian also apply to psychologists, dentists, and a host of other occupations. They have already gone into effect in at least some VA medical centers. So it works like this. Medical staff are still required to treat veterans despite their race, color, religion, and sex, and all veterans remain entitled to treatment. However, individual workers are now free to decline care for patients based on personal characteristics not explicitly prohibited by federal law. So what does that mean? It means language requiring healthcare professionals to care for veterans regardless of their politics and marital status has been explicitly eliminated. Also, doctors and other medical staff can be barred from working at VA hospitals based on their marital status, on their political party affiliation, or even union activity.
Amazing.
And we're talking about like chiropractors, certified nurse practitioners, optometrists, podiatrists, licensed clinical social workers, and speech therapists can just lose their job because they're a registered Democrat, or because they're just not married. When you claim to care about veterans, to care about the fact that these people, regardless of their political party affiliation, served their country, many of them got injured doing so, and now you want to deny them care because of who they might vote for, when you say that, it's a real big don't listen to what I say and watch what I do kind of situation.
So there you go. That was a big story yesterday, and kind of blew up on the web. So you may want to check that out. Let's find out what, hey, we've got a call from CJ.
They only got about a minute left here, so we'll have to keep it pretty quick. CJ, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning, gentlemen. Well, just since you brought that up, I'm looking at a chart from the Labor and Statistics, United States government added 709,000 jobs in 2023. 709,000. And you're complaining about losing 200,000?
Yes.
Well, Biden increased. That's from the U.S. Government, Labor and Statistics. So,
right. Well, I'm not disputing it.
just
Okay.
Look at the facts. It's easy to look at the chart.
Yes.
And I know, it's hard to describe mathematics over the phone or over the radio.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at charts, like the border chart, you watch it skyrocket underneath Biden. And, the border is now secure. And if Trump was the king, it wouldn't be so hard to pass things in the Congress and the Senate.
Yeah, it'd be great if
So
he were
you're-
king.
so you want him to be
You want him
king.
to be a king, don't you? Okay, well, but now you just said it yourself.
No, I
if
want
you
things
watch
controlled.
the border, but you're very visual on that. But what about the numbers? How many people did Biden send away from this country?
Not enough.
Deport-
He
okay.
invited 20 million.
Not
in.
enough. Okay, well,
CJ,
look,
we're out of time.
CJ, we're
Sorry.
completely out of time. You got to call us
Call us back,
earlier.
though.
We like hearing from you. All right.
All right. That's CJ. Okay. Coming up next is Stephanie Miller. This portion of John and Gordy brought to you by our friends at Verlo Mattress. Wake up and sleep better on a Verlo mattress. Plenty has changed since 1958. Some things remain constant throughout their history. They're still direct-to-consumer, providing superior products at unbeatable prices. Verlo Mattress, East and West in Madison. Go to Verlo.com.
There's so much to
That's
unwrap
it.
there, but we got to talk to them again.
Have a good day.
Oh, they're drones.
Look out.